With the FOMC meeting happening today and the digital asset framework report potentially dropping as well, markets are bracing for serious volatility. While everyone is focused on the macro noise, a few altcoins are quietly making smart moves, and some of them might even get mentioned in today's US government report, which could be massive. This is your Altcoin Buzz News. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Cody, and if you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when I drop latest content. Follow us on Twitter, altcoin.io, and as always, not financial advice, and wish you the best of luck in your crypto ventures. Alright, good morning guys. Today is FOMC day as well as the US government's crypto report day, and Bitcoin is more or less hovering in the middle of this range again, pretty much like we expected. Yesterday it went sideways almost, and alts just, fell off a cliff. So as Bitcoin is slowly drooping down here, alts are selling off, de-risking ahead of the events today. And so I think after today, we're going to have a lot more clarity as to, what they want to do with the Fed, with the money printing, as well as what the US government is planning to do. And it would just have this big sell-off. And I think, we're doing time-based capitulation right now where everyone is kind of getting bored. As we're starting to get chopped up in this range, people are opening and closing positions. And so right now, on the lower time frames, on the 4-hour, Bitcoin, it looks like it does want to come back down here. I mean, at the very least, it wants to come down towards 116.5, but it's very possible it goes down towards the bottom of this range again, around 115.5. So we're gonna have to see what happens today with the report. If it's really good news, if we have a good, government crypto report and good FOMC, then it is possible we break back through up here towards the top of this range around $120,000, which is what I'd like to see. But also, it's very possible, we are still in that slow summer, even though we've made a new all-time high. We are going into August, which is typically not a great month for just financial markets in general. It's pretty slow. A lot of people take vacations. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just chopped around here for a little bit longer between this $115 and $120 range for a while before we start to head out towards the end of August and back up towards these new all-time highs as we go towards Q4 later this year. So I'm not too worried about this right here. I think it's just going to be ultimately chopping around here. So don't get chopped up too much in between. And also, I want to share this real quick before we move on. Make sure to check out our sister channel, Fungible Games. And Mike just made this video on pudgy penguins and what they're not telling you about the Pengu token coming up. And they release a bunch of great videos. So I'll leave this link down below. So make sure to check them out as well. Now, moving on, we have the White House Digital Asset Report is to be publicly released today. So we're going to see what happens on that today. It's going to coincide with FOMC. So there's a lot going on at the same time. Now, we have King Baldwin saying FOMC rate decision drops today. Markets are pricing in a 97.9% chance of no change, so holds all but guaranteed. But the real spotlight is on Powell's press conference at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Behind the scenes, Trump and other top U.S. officials have reportedly met with Powell, and there's a growing optimism that he could strike a more dovish tone. If Powell even hints at cuts coming soon, it could set the stage for a next major leg up in markets, prepare for volatility, and drop your FOMC predictions. We also have Kyle saying a big day today, the kind that can shake up everything. Here's what's coming. We have the estimated Q2 GDP at 8:30 a.m. At 2 p.m. we have a Fed decision, and at 2:30 Powell speaks. GDP is expected at 2.5%. Anything weaker and the recession tariff chatter kicks in. Fed's likely to hold, but rate cut bets for September are rising fast at 64%. The real wild card is Powell's tone. Trump's been turning up the heat, and will Powell fold or stay stubborn? 1 week print plus a dovish Fed equals fireworks across stocks, bonds, and the dollar. Strap in, today's no ordinary Wednesday. So that's a lot of the reason why we've been de-risking today. There's just so much uncertainty going into this event. Trump has been talking to Powell. We saw, Trump went to the Fed and sat there with Powell in his construction hat. So there could be potential, pressure to become more dovish. So it really depends on what happens as Powell is speaking. So while we don't think that there's going to be a rate cut today, he could kind of foreshadow that there might be one starting in September and maybe another one this year. And that would definitely be a lot more bullish for the markets. And then we have Bill Miller saying, it's my take that in 20 to 30 years, every company might be a Bitcoin treasury company.
It's my take that in 20 to 30 years, every company might be a Bitcoin treasury company. And the reason for that is what I just mentioned. The underlying protocol for what we're representing as value is much more stable in Bitcoin than it is with fiat technologies. So, we own strategy. You look at the deal that Michael just did with STRC, many, many times oversubscribed. And what I think is likely to happen moving forward is people are going to look around, and the bond managers that are buying the Bitcoin-related bonds are going to outperform the ones that don't. And the equity fund managers that buy Bitcoin-related stuff are going to outperform the ones that don't. And people are going to keep looking around and going, how do I do that? Oh, I buy stuff that's tied to Bitcoin. And so, and then they're going to actually do work on it, which most people still haven't actually done. And it's just going to snowball downhill, which is what we've seen for the past 16 years.
And then moving on to another altcoin that could be mentioned in the digital asset report today, we have Cardano. So the White House will release its digital asset report today, and Cardano could potentially be in it. We also have Imminent saying, breaking news, Cardano to be officially recognized as a digital commodity under U.S. framework. Cardano could be classified as a digital commodity under the new U.S. regulatory framework because it meets the key criteria. Decentralized in function, lacks centralized managerial control, demand is driven by real utility, not hype. This could give Cardano a major regulatory advantage over other altcoins. Are we about to see a flood of institutional interest in Cardano? And then we have Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson saying that if you hold XRP, you will receive the largest airdrop ever. So he said this.
Here's what we're going to do with Midnight, launching soon. We're going to do a token drop, airdrop, called Glacier Drop, brand new distribution mechanism. And if you hold Bitcoin, Ether, Cardano, XRP, if you hold Avalanche, BNB, if you hold Brave, because we like the bats people, if you hold any of these ecosystems, you already have it. Congratulations. It's for free. Just airdrop it to 37 million accounts.
Now, Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson recently reiterated that XRP holders, among holders of other major ecosystem native tokens, will receive the Midnight airdrop. The largest airdrop ever in terms of reach, number of wallets, is now available for claims, and Hoskinson reaffirms that XRP enthusiasts are not left out. Hoskinson noted that a total of 37 million wallets are deemed eligible for the Glacier airdrop. Notably, after his comments, the June 11th snapshot occurred, which captured users with at least $100 worth of XRP at the time. Notably, holders of Cardano, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, BNB, AVAX, and Basic Attention Token are also eligible for the airdrop. Meanwhile, the claim page for the Midnight airdrop is also now live, allowing eligible participants to claim the token. The portal opened on July 15th and has a 60-day window, ending in mid-September, during which users can redeem their airdrop rewards. So while Cardano is gearing up for this big airdrop and could be on the US government's digital asset report, the price does not reflect it, but really the whole market kind of looks the same. We started to make these on the daily chart, we started to make these lower highs here, and it's not looking that great, reclaiming back into this range. So right now, we want to come down here towards this 74-cent level and hold this level as support. But if it doesn't hold this level as support and reclaim it soon, I do think we're coming back here down towards 66 cents, which would not be ideal. But we're going to have to see what happens with FOMC today. You know, if the market starts to pump and everything becomes super dovish, then it is possible we hold this level as support around here. But if this does not hold on the daily chart and we don't reclaim this pretty quickly, I do think it is a possibility we come back down here. So nothing to do too much on Cardano because it is at this midpoint here, and we don't know what's going to happen at FOMC today. But just watch these two levels here at 74 cents and 66 cents because these are the next two levels that I would want to be bidding on Cardano. But nothing to do right now as we want to watch this for later today. And then moving on, we have SUI saying institutions and traditional participants may soon have a NASDAQ-listed access to the SUI Treasury Company as early as this Thursday. So we have Bitcoin, we have Ether, we even have Hype and Solana Treasury companies, but now we also have a SUI Treasury company. So Stephen McIntosh says, we're launching MCVT's SUI Treasury strategy as both institutional crypto and AI reach critical mass, creating significant opportunities across blockchain infrastructure. We believe that SUI is well positioned for mass adoption. So Mill City Ventures announced a $450 million private placement to initiate a SUI Treasury strategy. So now, as soon as potentially, Thursday, you could be buying this, traditional stock MCVT and holding SUI as a treasury company stock. So I think we're going to start to see this a lot more over the next coming months as more companies adopt altcoins for their treasury. We also have Torero Romero saying SUI reached 9.6% of total non-EVM TVL. So of all the non-EVM chain TVL, SUI is now at 9.6%. He also says SUI monthly DEX volume surpassed 13 billion, the second highest month ever. So DEX volume on SUI is surging like crazy. And we have BMS saying SUI's growth rate has been alarming recently, with its TVL surpassing 2.2 billion and 2.7 billion in bridge TVL, making it all-time due to increased DeFi activities. SUI's DeFi network is taking off, ranking 8th among all chains. 30-day DEX volume on SUI is over 8.52 billion, ranking 7th among all blockchains, with over 70 protocols and counting. Its stablecoin market cap experienced a 180% surge at over 1 billion in July 2025, beating leading layer 1s like Base and Solana. Over 10% of SUI's TVL is now made up of Bitcoin assets. SUI is the second fastest growing layer 1 dev community, with just a hair behind Solana, with a total of 1,300 moved developers. That's 16.1% up from last year. Everything is going up in SUI, including dApps like Bluefin, which has grown rapidly since they released Bluefin Pro. Not forgetting the SUI lend where you can lend and borrow, and Walrus Protocol, in which most of us got huge airdrops a few months back. Now the co-founder mentioned that wall stakers will be the happiest in the world. You know what to do, right? SUI DeFi is taking off. Don't get left behind. So he's referring to this, where the Sui co-founder said, "So wall stakers are going to be the happiest people in the world." Dot dot dot. Not mentioning it too much, but we have Edel here saying, as the Sui co-founder recently highlighted, Walrus protocol stakers are poised to be the happiest people in the world. Bullish vibes all around. Diving into the tokenomics, Walrus has a total supply of 5 billion wall tokens, with a whopping 10% or 500 million tokens allocated specifically for the Walrus user drop to reward the community. So far, only 4% of the total supply, or 200 million tokens, or 40% of that user airdrop allocation, has been distributed via the initial airdrop to early adopters, NFT holders, and ecosystem participants back in February. That leaves a massive 6%, or 300 million tokens, reserved for the future community distributions post-mainnet launch. And here's where it gets exciting. One of the key criteria for snagging that Wave 2 airdrop could very well revolve around wall staking. Walrus is a delegated proof-of-stake network where staking powers security, data presence, and governance, think rewards. So very bullish things for the entire Sui ecosystem. And then moving on, we have Not Telling saying, the longer the consolidation, the greater the breakout. You've seen my calls hit recently. It's because I bring them to you before the breakout and during consolidation. That's the key to do well in crypto. Don't chase green candles. Plume has been consolidating for a month, and the breakout is inevitable. How do I know? Plume is absolutely killing it with adoption. It's going unnoticed because of impatient retail. Exactly what I like to see when I make my investment. Plume's TVL is at 325 million and growing. Plume RWA holders are at the highest in all of crypto. Plume partnered with Trump-backed World Liberty Finance. Plume's meeting with the SEC Crypto Task Force. And Plume token unlocks voted to be delayed until 2026. Remember, it's just a matter of when, not if it breaks out. Accumulate between 10 and 12 cents and watch the fireworks. And then for the Plume Network Q2 2025 update, for Q2, Plume achieved significant milestones, including a partnership with World Liberty Finance, introducing Skylink on Tron DAO, and working with the U.S. regulators, reaching over 320 million TVL on its RWA ecosystem, and more. And lastly, Bally says, bullish on Plume. Plume Network delays the token unlock to January 2026 to comply with U.S. regulations and build long-term trust. No short-term cash grab, just focus on delivering institutional-grade tokenization to retail. $1 is criminally FUD. So part of the reason I like to do TA after I read all this is because you'll go on Twitter and then you'll read all this stuff and you'll be like, wow, this is super, super bullish. And then you'll go and you'll look at the chart and it will look like this. And so this is why I like to share the TA with you guys after I read these articles, because I don't think this is exactly this is an area where you would want it to hold. This is, around 9-ish cents. This is the level of support that you're hoping holds, but I don't know if it's going to. If the market continues to sell off today, it is very possible they come down and take out these stops that are down here below 7.5 cents down here. It is very possible we come back down here. But more likely, I think we just form a range here. Like I've shared before, a lot of times this isn't really accumulation. What you like to see for accumulation is you like to see it come down. You like to see it accumulate between this for a couple months at least. And then what you want to do is you want to wait for it to break out like that. And you want to buy on the retest after the accumulation. And so I don't think we've gotten to that just yet. I think, if we are looking at this chart, this wasn't really accumulation. This was like a couple weeks of accumulation. Then we broke out, we retested the other side of this, we tried again, and now we're starting to sell off. So I do think what is possible is we do something like this. Maybe we come down here, we take out these stops, and then we come back in here, and then we just consolidate between this level. And once we get back above here, that's when I'd actually be interested in it, Plume. Once we're back above 12.5 cents, because that means you don't have to lock up your capital in this whole entire range. I mean, unless if you want to lock up your capital, then sure, but there's opportunity cost of things, and it's not super capital efficient if you just lock up your money into a coin like this when it is in this big macro accumulation range right now. So I think, it's possible we come down here, we take out these stops, we come back, we reaccumulate in this range. And then at some point, once we come back above here, then you can get interested. You can set alerts right there. It's a lot more capital efficient to be invested in Plume right there. But right now, it's not in an area where I would want to be, buying it. I mean, if you wanted to long this is an area where you would probably want to long, but it's most likely based on how the price looks right now, they don't want us to come back down here. So I don't think this is a high probability trade to be taking right now. So Plume, not looking the best right now. And that's why I like to share, I like to share the fundamentals of it, like, Not Telling was talking about. Great fundamentals, but a lot of times the price in the chart doesn't always reflect that. So it's part of the reason why I like to do the news with a little bit of TA to show you how the news I'm sharing actually is reflected in the TA. And I don't think it's reflected very well. There's a bit of a divergence in the fundamentals and the actual price TA right now. So that's Plume right now. Nothing to do until we reclaim this range a little bit higher up. And then lastly for today, we have the Web3 game FIFA Rivals reaches 1 million players. So FIFA Rivals has made a massive splash by reaching 1 million downloads. That's a considerable achievement for any game, but especially for one built on the blockchain. With official FIFA licensing and real ownership of in-game assets, this isn't your average mobile football game. FIFA Rivals is a mobile game on a blockchain. It implies that But when playing, you do not simply own a team, as is the case with other games, but also your in-game items, including players and awards. And you don't even need to know anything about crypto to start playing. It's like downloading a regular game and then playing it. It hit the market on June 12, 2025, and within only 10 weeks, it surpassed 1 million downloads. That's a rapid development for a blockchain game especially. But aside from being super fun to play, FIFA Rivals is also easy to access. You don't need a crypto wallet or any technical know-how. You download the app and start kicking. It's also FIFA authorized, giving it credibility and authenticity. Also, this isn't Mythical Games' first win. Their earlier game, NFL Rivals, hit over 5 million downloads and proved their strong demand for sports games built on the blockchain. So that is FIFA Rivals, and we also have a full video on Fungible Games as well, which you can check out, link down below. And that is the video for today, guys. I think overall, we're just kind of droop down lower as the market kind of waits for what happens with FOMC and the Crypto Digital Asset report today. I think altcoins will continue to kind of sell off today, so nothing too much to do. We're going to wait for this chop to end and hopefully get better entries in the next day or so. So that is the video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow.